Hello, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, myths and legends. That was the wrong intro. Good job, myself. Greetings, ladies and gentlemen. Myths and legends, as well as the corporates who we're gonna scare the shit out of today. Welcome to If. In case if you still don't know, If is a show where we just take a random hypothetical question and talk about it. Honestly, it doesn't matter what question it is. All that matters is that we have something. All that matters that you, me, and everyone here have something to say about it. And today, in light of Halloween, I thought I'd try to scare some people. In this case, I'm going to be trying to scare the major corporations that heavily relies on crude oil, especially the gasoline industry. You guys have fun. So today's topic is what if the world ran out of oil? To be precise, crude oil. Today we are joined by Zero, our friend from now rebranded to Academy Zoom, the RP Discord server, as well as some other people who hopefully will join us later, as well as you, the viewer, who hopefully is watching. Okay, allow me to explain said oil. Crude oil is a major part of today's. It's quite a major part of today's world since we all know since we all should probably know lots of stuff depends on oil. For example, let's say plastic. The plastic that makes up bits of your phone. Lots of plastic is made out of crude oil. So that's a massive industry depending on crude oil. Next thing is gasoline, fuel, jet fuel. Pretty much all the fuel that we use today for powering our machines, our heavy machineries, such as cars and stuff. Those stuff runs on effectively refined crude oil, gasoline. Those stuff will be in a bit of a pickle, so have fun. As well as a lot of other things. Just be glad that this situation only involves crude oil, not other fossil fuels. Because if it involves other fossil fuels, so have fun. If it involves other fossil fuels, we're gonna have a bit of a end of world situation here. But anyways, moving forward, lots of countries also entirely depends on oil as part of the economy, as a lot of you here might know. Allow me to get a list. Countries by oil production. That's countries depending on oil. And here's a nice list of countries that almost in. Okay, this doesn't help. Here's a nice few countries that entirely depends upon oil. Yeah, these countries might be a little bit fucked by the situations that we're dealing with here, but oh well. Hopefully things should be fine. How's video quality? Honestly, I have no idea. Okay, it's saying 720p HD, so I hope it should be fine. Okay, and also another thing is that you don't really Another thing is that I hope you guys will be delighted to know that the power grid won't be majorly affected besides the whole transporting fuel thing, because the power grid, most of the power generation in the world, although it depends on fossil fuel, but it primarily depends on coal and other solid fossil fuel rather than oil, which is rather than oil or gasoline, which is a liquid. So there's that. So let's begin talking about what are some of the first things that would happen if oil reserves around the world oil fields around the world starts suddenly running dry today. So all right, here, in case of any one of you here still don't exactly get the picture, here's a scenario. 2018, October 26th. Uh, for some odd unknown reason, the previous estimation of the amount of oil reserves that are still in the ground have been completely false. Over the next 24 hours, oil fields around the world will be reporting that they are completely running dry of crude oil. Allow us to begin the discussion. Zero no oil, zero Altel, zero when it's fantasy stuff. Up there go. Well, there we go. We have lost our currently only participating discussion member. Great. Okay. In about 30 minutes, Dead Rewind should be back. Meanwhile, no one else. We have no one else. Great start to your live stream, me. Great start. Okay. Okay, let's start with the first thing. One major thing is that the price of internal combustion engine vehicles that is dependent upon gasoline is going to completely lose value, and the automotive industry is probably going to be one of the first to suffer. Probably one of the first to start suffering, because the news itself is going to cause a major collapse within the industry. Because think about it, if you hear on the news, guys, we're not going to have any more, we're going to stop being able to have any more gasolines like ever. And we all know and we all know how much people love to drive around in their cars. Telling people that they will no longer be able to drive around in their cars very soon is just going to mean it's going to mean some serious stuff. Which at that time would also mean that other form of automotives, such as electric vehicles and hydrogen cars. Allow me to pull up an image. Hydrogen vehicles. Hydrogen vehicles is going to be a huge thing, and of course the oil industry is going to suffer the most, but they might still be able to hang on for just a tiny little bit longer, since the scenario is that the crude oil that is still in the ground is suddenly gone. All the fields around the world, oil fields around the world reporting dry, but that doesn't mean that that there are no crude oil that is currently being processed in the factories, but those will run completely dry soon after. Uh, so there's that. Uh, so hydrogen vehicles, electric vehicles. Let me pull it up real quick. Electric vehicle. As well as electric vehicles and vehicles that runs on biofuel, such as the vehicles that can run on vegetable oil and stuff. Will obviously fare a lot better. Will obviously be able to uh, uh, go around a lot better since they're not dependent on gasoline, which comes from crude oil. And any in any major fuel industry that catches on and develops alternative that catches on quickly enough to develop alternative fuel, or ones that already have alternative fuel, such as Shell, which I believe they are working on a hydrogen powered vehicle project. That was oh, there we go, Shell Hydrogen. There we go, Shell Hydrogen. Here it is. It's taking a while to load, but there we go. Here's the animation that they have here. I can play it. I can play it right now, or you guys can go check it out yourself. So this is probably one of the first things that's going to happen. Alternate fuel source being put into use a lot more, and that would also mean that all the cars on the road right now would quickly become, well, a majority of the cars on the road right now would quickly become completely obsolete as gasoline starts running out, and gas prices will also gonna skyrocket. So have fun, guys. Sorry, not sorry. And that's obviously not a good sign. So have fun. There you go. Immediately skyrocketing gas prices because limited supply and demand. And now continue moving forward. Plastic might not be that badly impacted because as of the moment there's a lot of eco-friendly alternate plastic options that does not rely on crude oil to produce. One of which being PLA, which, if I remember correctly, is made from starch. It is a biodegradable plastic, unlike what we normally have. Which is stuff that is going to last for centuries and be really bad for the environment. So yeah, there's that. And moving forward from there, remember those countries earlier that I showed that are completely dependent on oil? You can say goodbye to those countries. They're going to pretty much completely collapse very soon if oil suddenly if crude oil suddenly is just gone. Now continuing forward, let's see. Let's see what else. Well, these are my personal thoughts on it, but if any one of you got more things to talk about, also I should probably pull up the actual thing so that I can see in case if someone's in a live chat, because right now I don't have the thing pulled up. No one in live chat right now, and no one watching live. Perfect. Let's see. What's alternate fuel source obviously is also going to come alternate energy source, because we all know if like we just if every single vehicle on the road becomes electric within, let's say, the next 5 years or so, due to the whole crude oil and gasoline being pretty much a thing of the past. Yeah, also yeah, right, napalm's also gonna be gone now, because uh yeah, napalm is gasoline and foam. So have fun, U.S. military. Sorry, not sorry. Still, uh, yeah. But that's kind of not exactly relevant. But okay, all right. Moving forward. Past that again. Let's think. Let me think. Not really sure where to go from this, but not really sure where I can go forward from this. But let me think. With the alternate fuel source and a lot more electric cars and stuff on the road, as well as hydrogen fuel stations, as and fuel pumps being converted to supply hydrogen rather than gasoline for the hydrogen powered vehicles, that's also going to arise due to the lack of gasoline, as well as all the other industries of processing alternate fuel would mean slight changes on the load on the power grid, depending on how the hydrogen is produced. With other fuels, obviously they're going to have, well, most likely they're going to have large industrial plants like before. But with hydrogen, it's kind of different because of how easy it is to produce hydrogen. Grab 2 electrodes, stick it in water, and voila, you get hydrogen. It's a bit more complicated than that, but I don't have time to. Actually, I probably have time to get into the details. So let's see. Electrolysis. Wikipedia, please. It works good enough. Anyways, electrolysis is what happens when you take carbon electrodes and one moment. This is when you take two electrodes, anode and cathode, and dump them in and put them in water. Apply current through them. A lot of current. And a lot of current, and water starts getting separated into hydrogen and oxygen. And when that happens, you take the hydrogen, there's oxygen inside, you get hydrogen fuel. And of course, one huge issue around hydrogen. Okay, actually no, we're not quite there yet. Let me go back just a little bit. And since it's this simple, we can either have localized hydrogen production at every single gas station from here on into the future. was the hydrogen with the hydrogen generators be just there, and you just need to supply water and electricity to it, or large industrial hydrogen plants, and then the hydrogen can either would need to be shipped over to the fuel pumps, or through new infrastructure such as hydrogen pipes on the ground. I'm kind of just regurgitating what I've saw on real engineering now at this point. So So let's move forward from this whole hydrogen thing onto the whole hydrogen production thing, since it can either be local or centralized. Personally I like the idea of local, but centralized is equally as likely, since traditionally we have giant centralized production plants, giant centralized industrial centers that just chucks out stuff 24/7 nonstop. Well, maybe it was a bit of stop since people need to sleep, but it pretty much chucks out stuff very fast, and a lot of them at once too. So production of hydrogen being in centralized hydrogen plants makes perfect sense, and wouldn't surprise me one bit if that were the case. But still, again, as I said, I personally prefer the localized option. It makes things a bit more interesting and simpler, I suppose, for the when it comes to the logistics of things, in my personal opinion. Anyways, and the other thing is with hydrogen vehicles themselves. People often think that hydrogen vehicles is dangerous because we all know what happened to the Hindenburg. We all know what happened to the Hindenburg. And this is why we don't fill balloons with hydrogen anymore. Well, we still do, but it's just a few rare dumb idiots who thought that was a good idea. Anyways, because of this exact thing, people are kind of scared of electric vehicles because they think, kaboom! And obviously, that is not good and kind of a misconception, if you ask me, because, well, here's the thing with electric vehicles. Well, I mean, here's the thing with hydrogen vehicles. And hydrogens themselves, comparing to gasoline, as well as other liquid fuel. Gasoline is a liquid, which it kind of just which means that if it catches on fire, it's gonna start pulling around. Well, if the fuel tank catches on fire, gasoline is gonna burn a hole right through the fuel tank, and the fuel is gonna start pulling around the vehicle, completely engulfing it, and whichever unfortunate soul it is that gets trapped in there. But with hydrogen, because it's a really light gas, the tank gets punctured, and the gas that is escaping gets set on fire. It's just gonna be a jet of fire pointing in a single direction rather than pulling around engulfing the entire vehicle. So when that happens, casually open the door, come out of the vehicle, exit the vehicle, and walk in the opposite direction of that jet of fire, and you'll be fine. And once hydrogen gets depleted, a bit of refurbishment, and your car's good as new. Hopefully, anyways, assuming other flammable parts of the car doesn't get caught on fire, because that'd be bad. But assuming if nothing else catches on fire, then there you go, good as new. One moment, let me look up something. Hydrogen vehicle fuel tank leak test. I don't know if I can find any videos or anything, but think what happens when you punch a hole in a CO2 canister. the CO2 just in a CO2 canister. I have two right here, but I don't want to punch holes in them for a good reason. When that so think what happens when you punch a hole in a CO2 canister. All the gas escapes out of a single hole, and nothing else happens pretty much. Okay, there's really nothing. Okay, there's really nothing that I can find here so far. So let's back out of here. So technically, hydrogen vehicles are safer than gasoline, I suppose. And okay, now next thing is battery cars. Most electric vehicles on the road right now are battery powered. And the whole battery thing is going to be a massive issue because batteries are heavy and expensive and have very low energy density and have very low energy density comparing to traditional fuel. And possibly also, and I'm not too sure about the energy density difference between still nothing here. Oh great. Personally, I'm not so sure about the energy density between hydrogen and batteries. I should probably look it up right now. Of hydrogen versus batteries. Okay. Here we go. Batteries, storage volume in liters, 8. Here's normal battery, nickel something battery, lithium ion, and here's hydrogen fuel cell. So, as you can see, hydrogen appears to be vastly superior to batteries in terms of energy density. Efficiency wise, it's not anywhere as good, because with batteries you just take whatever fuel, run it through a generator, convert it to electricity, pumps electricity into your vehicle, and then your vehicle turns out electricity into movement. That is about 1, 2, 3, 4, about 4 steps in between. But with hydrogen, it's a bit complicated. It starts with generating the electricity, that's step 1, transporting the electricity to hydrogen production, step 2, producing the hydrogen, step 3, transporting the hydrogen, depending on local or locally produced or centralized production. We'll assume centralized production so that we can have this extra step and count it. Transport, fueling, because the fuel pumps uses up energy. How much have we lost now? That's five steps worth. After that, converting the hydrogen back into electricity, 6 steps, and then use that electricity to drive the motor, 7 steps. 7 steps of converting things around versus the 4 steps of just batteries. Energy efficiency wise, batteries probably superior. Energy density wise, it's fuel cells, like way better. Like just way better energy density. Looking at this graph. And the storage, and the other issue was of course, none of them are gonna be able to compare in terms of energy density versus gasoline. But screw gasoline. No one likes gasoline. Except the big oil industries. But no one likes them either. Maybe Shell, since they're working on a hydrogen thing. So maybe Shell, but just maybe. All right, moving forward. I honestly still have no idea who's actually watching and who's not. But hello.
Hey.
Hey, welcome. Hey, Dad, welcome back.
How much have I missed?
Just to fill you in on what we have gotten so far. We've established a situation. We have established the situation of on this day and over the next 24 hours. And on this day and over the next 24 hours, oil fields around the world starts reporting that they are running dry. And currently we've gotten to the point of I have listed all the alternate fuel source for vehicles, as well as showed the list of. One moment, I got a phone call by the look of things. Just give me a moment. Okay, I'm back. That was my mom. So we've gotten to the point where we've gone
to the point. So alternate fuel sources.
Alternate fuel sources, and currently we're on battery-powered vehicles versus hydrogen vehicles. Since that's gonna be a thing that's gonna become a major thing, because automotive industry is either gonna have a major change as it entirely shifts from internal combustion to electric or hydrogen or alternate fuel source such as biofuel or something like
biofuel will still be pretty good.
Biofuel will still be pretty good, but the likelihood is that it'd be a lot easier to just switch to either hydrogen or battery, since there's already production for it, and biofuel internal combustion engines are, albeit similar to normal internal combustion engines, but different enough in a way that if you try to use biofuel on a normal internal combustion engine, that engine is fucked.
Yeah. I'm personally leaning towards hydrogen.
Personally, I'm thinking
it's a near infinite fuel source. And it's it has very strong reactions. Personally,
I'm rooting for a mix of hydrogen and battery power, since they both have their advantages, but if we can figure out a good balance between the two to fit onto a vehicle to get the best of both worlds, then it'd be perfect. Because I'm sure you know that, and I'm sure you know that current hydrogen vehicles are actually just electric vehicles that uses hydrogen to generate electricity on the go. And just moments ago, I showed a graph showing the energy density difference between battery and hydrogen. With hydrogen, it's kind of a linear change in terms of volume versus mileage, and with battery, there's kind of a diminishing return.
The only issue with batteries is that you have to have a way to charge them first.
Yeah, that's
a lot of the world's power supply still comes from coal, even though we're still switching to nuclear fission.
Oh yeah, don't worry about it. Don't worry about it. I left coal alone in this situation.
Okay, then we're fine.
It's just crude oil. Coal is next. Just kidding. Well, I'm not gonna do two episodes on economics. I've already scared away Zero. Zero already got scared and ran.
That was fast of him.
Yeah.
Let's see. So all major oil fields have dried up, and the only oil left is what's in barrels.
Yes. The
country who controls the most barrels for the first few years will have a chokehold on the rest of the world.
Yes, but that chokehold will not last long because we're a species that's known for looking at the issue and be like, "Fuck you, issue," and immediately devise a solution that more or less fixes the issue or completely bypasses it.
That's saying as long as the world doesn't go to shit because we're running out of gasoline.
Likely won't. With the current whole political situation and everything, and I highly doubt that any major world power would dare trying to start a war when there's a whole oil issue, because all the planes are likely going to be kind of more or less grounded. Planes are going to be grounded unless they use a fuel source that does not require crude oil to be produced, which currently most jet fuel are produced from crude oil, if I remember correctly.
What if a country decides to funnel its oil into its military program to invade more countries to acquire more?
That sounds like America.
Yeah. Also sounds like a lot of other European countries.
Probably not European countries, because there are quite a few European cities now that have completely banned internal combustion engine vehicles. So maybe not Europe as much, because probably within the first year we're going to see some serious major shift in the automotive industry to go entirely electric or hydrogen or something, and the military will likely be some of the first. The military will also likely to be the first to adapt. From what I've seen so far of electric vehicles, the motor is a lot smaller and a lot more powerful comparing to that of the internal combustion engine, especially that of Tesla's. If you compare Tesla,
it's just that refueling them takes a lot longer.
Yeah, recharging takes a lot longer. Well, I mean, what if you make it so that the battery section is removable, so that when you have to recharge, just unplug the entire battery section and chuck a new freshly charged thing there. Yeah, the military will probably do that.
Mm-hmm.
If I remember correctly, Tesla's electric motors is one of the most efficient and most powerful, and one of the most powerful, lightest, and cheapest ones in the world.
Oh yeah, Tesla's gonna get a massive boost.
Yeah, they're gonna be like, "Boys, we're rich! We're rich, boys!"
More so than we already were.
More so than we already were. Yes. Actually, isn't Tesla like barely keeping afloat right now?
Right now.
Yeah. And also another thing, if I remember correctly, a recent video about a engineer's teardown of a Tesla Model 3 revealed a few major things about Tesla. Their battery arrangement is some of the most efficient. Is I think like one of the most efficient battery arrangements he have ever seen, and the Tesla's motor, as I said earlier, comparing to all of the other companies, is a lot smaller, lighter, cheaper, and more effective, because a single magnet in the motor is actually 4 magnets glued together, pointing in all different directions.
There's one way to do it.
Like a single magnet in the motor is 4 smaller magnets glued together, all pointing in different directions, and the motor is just full of them. It makes the motor a lot smaller, a lot lighter, and a lot cheaper. Let me search up get an image of a Tesla's motor.
Okay. And now the political wars that would come from losing all of the world's oil supply.
Oh boy, this is gonna be fun.
Yeah.
Anyone here good at politics?
We're the only two here, it seems like. Oh, except for maybe someone on the stream.
Anyone on the stream who's good with politics? Nothing in live chat. There we go. Tesla.
Yeah, we can see it.
Engine versus Tesla's. I don't. There. Someone fitted Tesla with a internal combustion engine. Up there we go. You see, that thing is tiny comparing to that thing right there is absolutely tiny comparing to engines from electric motors from other car manufacturers, and a lot more powerful. Also, another thing is, if I remember correctly, if Tesla's cars are built the same way as other cars, they would have a 30% profit margin, which is absolutely massive.
Yeah.
So yeah, there's that. So with this whole oil thing, we can probably expect major changes in the manufacturing of vehicles to make building electric vehicles more efficient, especially those of Tesla. Also, look at the size. Look at this image. Look at the size of the motors on the vehicle.
Yeah. Compare
that to a internal combustion engine, which takes up the entire front of a vehicle normally. And sometimes, if we're talking about a car with two engines, like the entire front of the vehicle is an engine, and the entire back is another engine. And with this, it's just
there's no trunk.
There's no trunk. And with this, it's just a tiny little bip. And that's the entire power source. That's the entire thing that's driving the vehicle. And it is more powerful than the giant hulking chunk of metal that we normally use. Here's another image.
Unfortunately, there's not much else we can do with them, though.
Yeah. Sadly, that's another issue. So
they have a limit on.
Yeah, and now moving past that to air travel. Air travel is going to take a punch to the dick.
Long time.
It's going to take a punch to the balls. We're probably going to be going back to traveling by boat for a while, maybe a year or so till new engines are developed.
No, they're gonna have to rebuild every single boat too.
Ah, shit.
Sailboats.
Shit.
You get good at riding sailboats.
I did not consider this when I thought of this scenario.
Yeah, there'd be no cross-continent travel.
Cross-continent travel is going to be pretty much completely shit. Completely shit.
They're working on those hydrogen engines.
Well, no, electric engines and hydrogen fuel and more efficient hydrogen fuel cells. Electric motors and more efficient hydrogen fuel cells, or just a massive array of electric motors.
Because think about this: if you're on a boat and you're using a hydrogen fuel system,
and so,
what's all around you? Hydrogen's not hard to make.
Also, why use hydrogen? But here's the other thing: using hydrogen is very inefficient because there's like
but it's everywhere.
There's like 7 steps from converting hydrogen into momentum, while getting hydrogen and turning it into hydrogen and then turning it into power and momentum. You need electricity.
But the best part is that
what I'm saying is, think about it.
Well,
the power source which the boat is getting electricity from, why not just feed that power source directly into the motors rather than wasting a bunch of it making hydrogen, then turning the hydrogen back into electricity, losing losing 40% of the power in the process, then driving the motor. when you can just straight up take the electricity and punch it into the motor.
Because hydrogen's sustainable and clean.
No, no. But the thing is, to make hydrogen, you need electricity.
Mm-hmm.
And the motors that you're trying to power using hydrogen fuel cell are electric motors. And when you use electricity to convert water into hydrogen and then back into electricity, you lose like over 60% of the electricity that you initially put into it.
Yeah.
Did you think that through when you said hydrogen powered boats?
No, but it would be cool because it would be forever sustainable.
Although one thing that is true is that if the ship have a large hydrogen storage as well as a hydrogen localized hydrogen plant to generate hydrogen, they will be able to continue running through the night if they're reliant on solar power. Because that way, at night, you just use the hydrogen that you made during the day to power the boat rather than using batteries, which have very limited lifespan. Since right now the average battery can be charged and discharged about
solar power.
About 1,000 times.
Boats covered in solar panels.
Charge and discharge. Battery lifetime. Battery lifetime stuff. You see, the more you charge it, the more times you charge it and discharge it, the worse the battery is going to get, the less energy it can store. As you can see from this graph here, so hydrogen might be a good alternative power storage option on really large scale stuff comparing to that of batteries. Dad, you still there?
Yes, I am.
Okay, good. But still, the battery thing will still be going forward by quite a bit, because we all know what happened to Higgenberg, and even though, strictly speaking, the hydrogen tank on a hydrogen-powered vehicle is not exactly volatile, if a hole gets punched into it and that hole gets set on fire, it's just going to be a jet of flame pointing in one direction. And you just need to get out of the vehicle and walk in the other direction, or if your vehicle is completely not flammable, just stay in the vehicle. You'll be fine. Probably, I think. I hope. It might still be safer to get out and walk in the opposite direction of the fire jet coming out of your fuel tank. It still might be a good idea. So yeah. Since even though hydrogen tanks isn't exactly dangerous, unlike gasoline, which kind of pulls around the vehicle and engulfs it. It still can explode. It still can be exploded with some pretty dramatic effect if you take a rocket launcher to it. To be fair, anything would do that, but hydrogen is going to give it a bit of an extra boost.
Yeah.
And
hydrogen's explosive though.
And that's not good.
Not bad.
And that is not good.
What if we just launched hydrogens? Can press tanks of hydrogen with a self-igniting feature in them?
There are more efficient way to blow things up.
There are, but that one's fun. That one's more fun.
Sure. Okay, now moving forward, engines that runs on biofuel already exist, and I think current internal combustion engines, with a bit of modification to their designs, they might be able to adapt to biofuel, but the issue is production of biofuel. Think about it for a
Yeah.
moment. Biofuel is not something that's commonly used today.
It isn't, because it's hard to produce.
Exactly. And just because of that, I'm willing to bet that if the scenarios I have described were to somehow occur, biofuel will be one of the last things to be on the list of stuff that makes it into the market. Biofuel-powered vehicles. Due to that exact
Those
reason.
would be pretty difficult. Yeah, the only issue with biofuel really is how difficult it is to produce.
And
there's been people who've been using algae to do it, but there's a lot more efficient.
There's a lot better ways to do it. And let's see, what else? Let's see what else.
The political climate will be hell.
The political climate will indeed be completely hell.
Science is going to get a major boost in funding.
Yeah. Also, another thing, question: when have the political landscape have not been hell? Answer that question. If you're having trouble, let me give you a hint. Never.
Phoenix. Hello?
Yes?
Hi. Something seems to have broken on my end. Sorry.
Okay. Is everything fine now?
Yeah.
Answer me. When have the political landscape have not been hell?
Never.
Exactly. There's a reason.
No, I can think of one time. Before humanity.
By then, politics wasn't a thing by then.
As soon as there was a person to lead somebody, the political climate's been hell.
Yeah, as soon as there's been more than one person, and one person is in charge of the other, political climate has been hell.
Yeah.
There's a reason why there is no shortage of lawyers and politicians in hell. There's a good reason for that.
There's also the fact that because there's no more oil, lots of science is going to get either a major boost in funding or severe decrease.
I'm willing to bet major boost in funding because.
Oh yeah, I almost guarantee because it would be the smart thing to do.
Yeah.
Boost research.
Yeah, military will love it because as soon as engineers can build a jet that runs on alternate fuel source as efficiently as the current ones, and as powerfully as the current ones, the better. And the faster they can replace
almost every plane and military vehicle is going to become useless.
Yeah, for a short period of time. And as quickly as possible. And they'd also love it if they can replace all their tanks and troop transports and pretty much everything with electric vehicles as soon as possible. That'd be great. So there's that.
But that brings me back to a point I made earlier about countries invading each other. There's going to definitely be a few because they're going to think that they're going to be powerful enough to take over the force because they no longer have vehicle support.
Except America have a ridiculously massive oil reserve.
Yeah, but other countries don't.
Other countries don't. America does. So America's going to be steamrolled. It's probably going to go ahead and steamroll. Just steamroll the entire Middle East. Just back in the good old days of Operation Sandstorm. Honestly, I highly doubt that any one of us here is alive when Operation Sandstorm was going. So there's that. Actually, when was Operation Sandstorm? Hello? Let me search it up real quick. The Gulf War. Yep. I wasn't even born.
Okay.
Yep. So because of America's ridiculous oil reserves, America proceeds to steamroll the Middle East, effectively kicking some serious ass on the war on terror. It's Operation Desert Storm again. It's Operation Desert Storm all over again.
Hi, Redacted.
Hello, Redacted.
Welcome to the stream. What?
Pizza.
Oh, pizza.
Oh, nice.
We're doing a discussion right now on what would happen if the world ran out of oil in a single night.
We would all die. The end.
I mean, that is certainly a possibility.
That is most certainly a possibility.
Most certainly a possibility, not the most likely of possibility, since we are the species that looks at an issue and proceeds to say "fuck you."
But yeah. Also, another thing, electricity prices for the first 5 years or so are gonna skyrocket.
For the first few weeks or month, gasoline rationing is going to be in place, and gas prices is also going to skyrocket.
People who have to travel for a living. People who have to travel for a living are going to lose their jobs.
They're kind of fucked for a short while.
Unless they own a Tesla.
A short while.
Unless they own a Tesla.
Or any other electric vehicles. In which case, then they'll be fine. Hopefully.
Yeah, unless society completely crumbles.
Which it probably won't, because electricity will still be there.
One major... Also,
electricity is oil fueled.
No, electricity is actually produced using coal, which...
It's using coal or nuclear fuel.
Coal or nuclear fuel, which in this case are both are not affected by the scenario. Just crude oil. Sorry, oil industries. Not sorry. Sorry, not sorry.
Oof. Well.
So, yeah, there's that.
Yeah.
And moving forward. Moving forward, air travel.
That's gonna be not. That's
not gonna be a thing for a short while, unless alternate fuel source actually takes off.
Yeah.
Unless alternate fuel source
last
actually
piece
takes
of
off.
the pizza,
So,
how the tip part is just freezing cold.
Yeah.
Also,
I hate that.
Okay. Totally off topic, but okay.
Totally off topic, but
I'm
okay.
eating a pizza, so it's not.
That might be one of the issues present during the whole no oil thing, but that's completely independent of oil.
Yeah. What other things are dependent on oil? Oh yeah, China's gonna die.
Yeah, China's slightly fucked, especially the cheap plastic.
Yeah,
They're made from
almost all of their exports are gonna just stop.
Just completely get fucked. So plastic itself might not.
Not to mention they're not gonna have a way to ship it, even if they do make it.
Yeah, that's a slight issue. China's economic war is gonna completely fail.
Bye bye China.
As a Chinese, at the same time I somehow both feel glad that that's the case, and somehow also sad and slightly displeased at that being the case, both at the same time.
But you know it's gonna happen. If China loses its supply of oil, it's pretty much fucked.
The thing is, I am both pleased and displeased at the fact that if oil were to suddenly be just slightly gone, China is gonna be fucked.
Yeah, suddenly no oil, no cheap plastic products that bring out most of China's revenue and supplies in general.
But plastic itself should be fine, since how many different types of alternative plastic have we discovered so far? Have we invented so far?
Yeah, and plus recycling's a thing.
Yeah.
Oh, normal plastics are kind of hard to recycle due to a few things.
They are very difficult to recycle.
Yeah,
thermoplastics
is.
That pizza had a lot of pepperoni on it, so my mouth is kind of on fire.
Okay.
Okay.
Thermoplastic is really easy to recycle. You just need to melt it down and recast it. With other plastic is a bit annoying because bunch of chemical processes and stuff. Really painful and especially complex and all these shape stuff. Those stuff are annoying. Those stuff are annoying. Not
I
too
bet.
sure if ABS is gonna be fine. Actually, what is ABS made out of? What is ABS?
Sponsored by Crushed Soda.
ABS is a common thermoplastic polymer. What is it? What is it made out of?
No, don't.
Synthetic monomer produced pyrrolane and ammonia. Butane is methyl
I'm kind of tempted to play Dark Wood.
unsaturated organic compound. Ammonia. That's pretty much everywhere. We got lots of those. Not an issue.
I'm tempted to play Darkwood, but I know if I do,
Derived
I'm gonna derail the entire stream.
Okay. Please don't. I beg you. Petrol hydrocarbon obtained from C4 fraction of steam frac. ABS plastic is gonna be fucked. If you're wondering what ABS plastic is, it's one of the most common thermoplastic in the world. His hardware's kind of fucked right now, so there's that.
I don't know.
ABS. If you're wondering, what ABS is one of the most common thermoplastic in the world. Lego bricks are made from ABS. A lot of, I am willing to bet that half of my computer is made from ABS plastic. Though I'm not entirely sure. I have not tried stabbing my computer with a really hot metal stick yet. I don't know.
My case is made mostly of steel, which is really nice.
Nice. Also be glad that I only in my scenario only crude oil is affected.
Yeah, I know.
Be glad that only crude oil is affected, because allow me to tell you this: 3 of the metals that the world relies on the most, steel, aluminum, and silicon. The production of these 3 materials are entirely reliant on fossil fuel.
Yeah.
So
bye fossil fuel, bye all production.
However, alternative ways to produce this material that does not involve fossil fuel do exist.
Yeah.
They're not as efficient, but they are a thing. So depending on what we use for rocket fuel, depending on what we use for rocket fuel, SpaceX might change their first move from colonizing Mars to colonizing the moon, just so that they can get the science boost of discovering alternative ways to manufacture aluminum and steel by doing the experiments straight on an environment where fossil fuel does not exist.
There's still a lot of things that would be able to get hot without oil and stuff, so you'll still be able to make steel and stuff.
Oh, you see, the thing with steel,
there's coal. There's lots of other things that are.
You see, steel production of steel is completely reliant on coal.
Yeah.
And when I say completely reliant on coal, that means without coal, you're not going to be able to make steel.
How the fuck didn't I know that? I play fucking Factorial all the time.
Yeah, you need coal to make steel just because of the carbon.
Just because of the carbon. Like, seriously. And aluminum is the same way. Silicon is also the same way.
If you could just toss a person in there, you can make human steel, because we're carbon. And I derailed into something again. I'm assuming a scientist could do that one day.
That's not how it works, but okay.
People would probably end up using charcoal instead.
That would make an
actually,
interesting dystopia.
Good point. Good point. There's charcoal. Actually, would charcoal work?
No, because charcoal is just burnt wood, pretty much.
Work.
Yeah, it's just
for PRODC.
The
Would
underworld.
charcoal work? Can
No,
we make
charcoal would not be
steel
effective.
without coal?
Yes. Because charcoal.
It wouldn't be as effective as just normal coal, but still probably work.
Come on.
It doesn't matter. We're gonna just stop derailing ourselves by this. We're gonna go back to the whole stuff dependent on oil. What were we talking about? Yes, plastic. ABS plastic, one of the most common thermoplastics in the world, is going to have some serious issue.
There we go.
Because it is quite heavily reliant on a particular petroleum hydrocarbon obtained from the C4 fraction of steam cracking.
What?
It's
Wait,
part of
what?
it's part of the thing in extracting crude oil and stuff.
I mean, excuse me.
That basically means ABS is dependent on crude oil.
Borderlands, why did you betray me?
So ABS plastic is fucked.
God damn it.
PLA plastic should be fine since those are made out of starch. So and I'm pretty sure we already have a lot more alternative plastics that we can use. So I think we're good on that front. On that front, mostly, anyways.
Yeah.
Okay, what else is entirely reliant on? Actually, I don't think we've gotten very far into the aerospace industry.
No, the aerospace industry. That's
That's
gonna be fun.
That's gonna be slightly fucked. Although it's not saying that there are no jet engine designs that are not reliant on.
But it's just how much power they take.
That is kind of annoying. Electric planes is likely not going to be a reality for a long time. Though hydrogen.
Yeah, just because of how inefficient they would be for flight.
In terms of power density.
Yeah.
Hydrogen.
You need a lot of batteries.
I mean, hydrogen powered.
Hydrogen powers is what all planes would be.
Hydroelectric planes might start taking off literally. Might start taking off literally, but something tells me that alternate burning fuel might still be used, especially just for the jet engines, because there are a lot of things hydrocarbons that we can burn that does not come from crude oil.
But only some of them are as good as
as the current.
I feel like after crude oil is gone, the logging industry would skyrocket.
Yeah.
Yeah, I wonder why.
And we'd stop using paper because all of those logs would be going towards.
Yep.
Paper.
Not to mention,
paper prices would skyrocket.
Deforestation would become more of an issue. Which
means fuck.
That's fucking things. Fucking domino effect and shit.
I did not think about that.
Yeah, that's what this entire series is about. You're not supposed to think of everything.
Yeah, that's kind of the point.
For a while, because fucking updates.
Okay, I mean, why would the logging industry suddenly explode?
They would need
charcoal.
Because remember, coal is not affected in this scenario. It's just crude oil.
I mean, just something like they would need an alternate source for oil.
You can't make oil from wood. Just saying.
Wait. Oh fuck! I mean, an alternative to something to put in the stove that ain't just burning oil.
Other natural gas.
We don't do that.
We don't do that.
We use natural gas.
We use natural. Exactly.
I play too much Factorio. That's the only thing I know about oil is from Factorio.
Got it. Don't trust redacted on oil.
Fuck no. Why would I ever look up anything about oil? That has never come up in my life.
No, we
So
have.
why the fuck would I?
What was that?
It's still happening.
I'm gonna see if I have any Coca-Cola left. I'll be back.
Fuck.
You guys enjoy yourselves.
Jeez.
Crush
That was a
orange
good one.
soda.
That
Crush
was a
orange
good one.
soda. That shit will make you explode, apparently. Holy shit.
Hey, we could probably just hijack the stream right now. He's not here, so.
Yeah, fuck it. Didn't it? Fucking. I don't know. Would you like to play fucking Rusted?
Hold on.
Okay, I'm back.
I'm just gonna do this for now.
Oh, he's back. Abandon ship, abort.
What were you guys doing when I was gone?
Nothing.
You don't need
The
to
thing
know,
is,
you never
The
will
thing
know.
is, because I don't rewatch my live streams, I never know what you guys do when I'm getting a drink.
Good.
I never found out. And whatever it is, it better be good.
It's not good, Phoenix.
No, it's not. At least not for you.
It never is.
I'm used to this. I think.
You are. Yeah, sure you are.
I think. I thunk.
You're not
No.
used to it.
Mm-mm.
Okay, now moving forward. Rockets.
Don't they already not use oil?
Some
don't they use,
some
like,
rocket fuel.
chemical shit.
Some rocket fuels are derived from fossil fuel. And
There hasn't been exactly that many of them.
Mm-mm.
and said fossil. Okay, in that case, then rockets wouldn't be that massively effective. It's just that certain rocket engines will be a complete no-go when it comes to future rockets. That's not too big of a deal because we got the Raptor engine from SpaceX. If I
Let's
remember
see, what
correctly,
else?
Raptor engine is one of the most efficient in terms of mass to thrust to weight ratio engines in the entire world currently. If I remember correctly.
Shit. This is
Well,
just
redacted.
content.
Redacted, you okay?
Warframe thing. Checking for new content. 14%.
Actually, let me just quickly
Oh,
look this
God.
up.
Fuck me. I guess I'm not playing Warframe ever again.
Highest thrust
Oh,
to
did
weight
it update?
ratio.
Yeah, it updated. If you take a look at the what's new thing, there seems to be something new with the
Ratio
new character, I
off.
guess.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
I think the old dragon dude got a new skin.
Okay, thrust to
Yeah,
weight
he did.
ratio on aircraft and stuff. Aircraft, the B2's
I'm just gonna leave that up in the
Spirit
background.
have a. Okay, the B2 Spirit have a thrust to weight. So it's a bomber, by the way. At max takeoff weight, full power, have a thrust to weight ratio of 0.2205.
Should I completely derail this thing by going Darkwood?
No. Well, yes. Your screams of terror will be amazing.
Yes, why not?
Fuck it.
All right, from this point forward, we will have occasional screams of terror.
Screaming in terror and eventually cowering in the corner, never to be seen again, as I'm eaten by a tree.
Ah, I think I found a Warframe Crazy would like.
What?
Okay,
Garuda, the new one.
Rude
on the scale of 1 to 10, how derailed are we right now?
I'd say a 5.
I'd say about
Just,
a 7.
the only reason I'm saying that I found a Warframe that Crazy would like was because it revolves around blood.
What else? My reaction to it just that.
That's just starting to. What?
Okay.
I don't
Have
like
Crazy
the
become a
heartbeat on the
channel
main
meme?
screen.
Have Crazy become a channel meme at this point?
Probably.
Yeah, basically. This is the blood magic shit.
Yeah.
It was our first stream, and all we did was mention blood magic.
Yeah, because me and Crazy kept on derailing it.
Okay, so back on topic.
No.
All right.
Yes. Oil.
Once this game loads, it's gonna get very off topic, but it seems.
Oh, yeah,
taking a while,
his
'cause I have
streams are
Warframe opened
terrible.
in the background.
Pairs are gonna be awesome.
20%. 20%.
This is what the political landscape is gonna feel like if oil runs out.
No, you haven't seen him play Darkwood yet, have you?
Something tells me that it's even get more like the political landscape.
Come
The
on.
game is literal hell.
It is. It's one of those that.
In that case, it's a literal political landscape.
Oh.
Phoenix is one of the most atmospheric and terrifying games I've ever played.
I'm gonna
Alright.
send you a screenshot.
Anyways,
of the
in that
big
case,
place in the game.
in that case, then let's quickly finish up the discussion so that we can listen to Redacted Scream of Horror.
Alright, search.
Okay, so in general, the world would not die out, but it would definitely evolve.
It would be
Probably using
a
cleaner
little.
fuels.
I mean, it will be a little bit fucked for the first few years, but eventually,
After that,
we'll get back to a point where everything's normal.
Or we will all die.
no, we won't all die.
We likely won't
everything will
remember.
probably
We're the
come back to
species
normal.
that looks at bad situation and just be just like, fuck you. We're gonna find a fix to this. We're just kind of species. So yeah, I think we'll be fine.
Yes. With that, we wrapping up.
And with that, we kind of wrap. That's pretty much most of the important parts of this live stream. The important parts of this question, anyways.
Yep.
And from that point forward, humanity proceeds to colonize the star system and
with
spread
this,
beyond the
it's been your
stars.
host Phoenix, and this has been If.
And that my intro for me. It has been I.
I did your outro for you.
It has been I, Phoenix, your host. And this have been it. I hope you've enjoyed this discussion
Guns and more guns.
It's If,
oh shit!
not It.
And
This is Pennywise.
Fuck!
We could probably get him as a special guest eventually.
And this have oh god, it's just
We broke Phoenix. Good job, Redacted. We did it.
Yeah, we did it, boys. Mission accomplished.
Anyways,
This has been your host Phoenix, and this is If.
you're not me.
Come back next Friday for another live stream.
He's impersonating you. Kill him.
Okay. Also, can we please listen?
If I am you.
Also, can we
What the
please?
fuck is that?
Wait, redacted? Redacted?
What? No! No!
And we'll leave you off. We'll leave it here with you while we just listen to Redacted scream.
And it has been your host, Phoenix,
Done.
signing off.
It's been fucking-
See ya!